Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, wherever you are. That depends on what part of the world you find yourself at today. Martin Luther King Day here in the United States, so I presume and we believe that there are many folks who are actually at home for today. So we are going to look and see if we can find out those who are actually logged in, and we're going to give some time for many guys to join us. In the meantime, how is the sound out there? Looking at the guys on YouTube, guys on Facebook. Let's check out with the guys on YouTube first of all, and find out how are we doing sound-wise. I see a thumbs up. See a thumbs up. Let's see here. One thumb up. Yes, we got one thumb up. Okay. And let's check up on the guys on Facebook. Looking at the comments on Facebook as well. Let's see. To all our Facebook fans, where are you guys at? Okay, I guess they're coming in slow and steady. I know. Yep, it's a holiday here in the US for most of us. So it's going to be a slow start, but that's fine. Today we have a lot of stuff we're going to be discussing, predominantly based on the feedback that we've received from many of you. So we're going to be talking about the different features that we have on the KETRON instruments, but more importantly, we want to talk about how to use these features in real live situation, right? So that's really what the purpose of today's show is. Yes, we have all these great features, but how do we apply them and how do we use them in real life settings? Now, for the past, because of copyright issues, we've had to play generic tones and stuff like that. But I think a lot of people really want to hear songs and music that they're accustomed to. And that's a whole, it's a large world out there. So you have the Americas, you have the Africans, you have the Asians, you have the Europeans. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be touching a little bit here and there, depending on the show. So for example, today's show will be focused mostly on songs that were made famous by Americans for the most part. And we're going to show you how we can use the KETRON features to achieve certain things. Remember, this is focused around you, a one-man band, right? So how do you use this instrument to perform and to sound live? And so we're going to do a lot of American tunes today, but to avoid the copyrights, we're going to be, putting in some things here and there just to add our own flavor, which I believe most of you also do when you perform out there live. Records are songs are breathing, they're living, right? You have updates, you have changes, you have modifications. Sometimes, though, the original is always still the best, right? Depends on the genre and the song and when it was released and the type of crowd you're playing to as well. So without much ado, we are going to dive in real quick. I just wanted to make sure that the sound was good out there. Let me check with my folks on Facebook, and then we're going to go down real quick into our presentation as well. All is good. Ed says all is good. Shirley, yes, all from Canada as well. Oh, yeah, we got a lot more people coming in today. That's good. That is very, very good. All right, love this. Someone says, love this. Hello. It's my pleasure having you live this morning. Perfect. Thank you, and thank you again. Thank you for the lovely comments coming from our folks out on the various forums indeed. So, without much ado, let's see. Let me go back into the folks on YouTube. Today, the folks on YouTube seem to be at rest. They're sleeping. I get more activity. We're getting more activity coming out of Facebook, which is also fine. I guess most of you are going to watch this later as well. So, where were we at? So again, we're going to talk about the features on these arranger boards and how these can pertain to your to the songs that you play on a daily basis. Okay, so let me make sure my pitch bend wheel is free there. So I'm going to take out this. Start with a song that was written in the, I believe this was in the 60s, okay? And not a great singer, but I'm going to attempt to sing some of this stuff. Again, don't focus on the singing. Focus on the music, on the presentation, because if this board is in your hands and you are a good singer, you're going to make it sound a lot better than what I can do right here. Now, I'm going to take my mic. I have this microphone, which is a wired microphone, which is actually plugged into the keyboard. And that would allow me to use the vocal harmonies in the keyboard as well. So if I do this real quick, this microphone on, there we go, see? So instantly, you probably heard some reverb coming in there. If I disarm the talking, I can actually, if I show you what I'm doing here on the panel, right? There's a button over there that says talk. And so I can quickly, you know, switch back and forth and be able to the microphone in real time. Let's see here. Trying to switch. Just give me 1 second. Trying to get the camera to switch here real quick, and it seems to not be behaving. Okay, there I am in the corner. All right, let's go back here and see what this guy is doing. That's coming up well. Let's see here. Okay, I think we're back. Yes, we got that resolved, okay? So, got my microphone in the summertime. Is what I'm going to sing. And you can see now for one of the features we have, we can actually display the lyrics on the screen, right? So I can go into my lyric function here. I can go back to my setup, my regular screen setup. Let me show you what I'm seeing on the screen here. Let's look at the screen real quick. So that's my song setup that I have, okay, to be able to call songs instantly. And I have my lyric button. And when I press that button, see what happens? In the summertime. So I actually have the capability to be able to display the lyrics of the song on the instrument itself. And what does this mean? Let me turn that reverb up there. So press the talk button. As I was showing you before, when you press the talk button over here, it takes out the reverb and I can now speak to you. And when I turn it off, it adds the reverb and effects and I can sing, right? So I'm gonna turn that off for now so I can talk to you and explain what I'm doing. So in this particular case, I want to sing the song in the summertime, right? And it's a very nice song that was written in the early 60s. I can press the lyric button and I can display the lyrics on the actual screen itself here, which is what you're seeing when I do this, okay? That's the screen. So what does that mean? That means that you don't have the desire to have an external computer or an iPad, right? You can actually have your lyrics of your songs displayed right on the screen. Now, just so you know, this is not karaoke. I'm not going to press a button and the song is going to play by itself. I have to still be able to play that song in real time, all right? So I have to still I'm still playing the song, but I have the capability to be able to view the lyrics. Now, also, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go here to my menu, and I'm going to go to my foot switch. I have a foot switch on the bottom here, the FS6, and I'm going to change pedal number 6, and I'm going to do that so that I can change the page of the lyrics, right? So what this means is I can actually, in real time, be able to scroll through my lyrics and actually change. So I'm going to program this pedal before your very eyes, and I want this pedal to do PDF page up, right, number 6. And I want pedal number 5 to do PDF page down. So I can either do the scrolling or I can just flip the page altogether. Page down. I'm just going to do a page down. And what this means is when I have my lyrics on, okay, if I hit the pedal number 6, you see what happens? It goes right to the next page. If I hit pedal number 5, it goes down a page, right? So I can either change the page or I can scroll. If I choose to scroll, it's going to do this, all right? So that's me scrolling right now. That's scrolling up. If I program the pedal to scroll up. If I program the pedal to scroll down, it's scrolling down the lyrics or scrolling down, going back to the previous page. So I don't want to scroll for the most part. You might want to, you know, like sometimes you're playing a song where you have the chorus back and forth with the verse, you might want to scroll. Or sometimes if you have the lyrics written in such a way that the chorus is retyped at the bottom as well, all you want to do is just simply change the page and go to the next page. It's a lot faster as well. So we got page up and we got page down. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be doing for the most part because it's a lot easier for me. So hey, there we go. We just spoke about one function right there. 2 actually, programming your pedals to be able to change the lyrics on the screen as you're performing. So now, how does this now convert to your actual performance? So here we go. We're going to go in now and I'm going to save that pedal setup. I'm going to hit save so that I can maintain that setting throughout all the different performances I'm about to show you here real quick, and then we can just go in straight into our song. Okay, hit lyrics, and then we are about to start. So here we go. I'm gonna add a second voice right there. I just added another voice. Okay, so this was my strings. Okay, so that's the normal piano. I'm going to add this string voice in the background. I'm going to take out the talk so I can now get the reverb and my other effects that are coming into the music. And here we go. In the summertime, when the weather is hot, you can reach up right and touch the sky. When the weather is right, you got a woman on your mind. Have a drink, have a drive, go out and see what you can find. When the weather's fine, we go fishing or swimming. When the swimming happy, way of life is living. That's right, that's right. You can go out when you're fine. We're always happy, life's for a living, that's our philosophy. Shooby dooby da, shooba dooba doo day, shooby doo doo da, shooba dooba doo day, shooba doo da da, shooba dooba doo da. That's right, that's right, that's right. Doo doo doo, shooby doo doo da. Shooby doo da da, shooby dooby doo ba doo da da, shooby doo da doo da da. In the summertime, when the weather is hot, you can reach up high and touch the sky. When the weather is right, you got a woman on your mind. Have a drink and a drive, go out and see what you can find. Grab a drink and a drive, go out and see what you can find. Have a drink and a drive, go out and see what you can find. Now, let's go back into talk mode again. So you saw what I was doing pretty much, okay? That's a very renowned song that many of you that grew up in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, you'll associate yourself with that tune. Now, let's talk about some of the features that we can use to actually enhance this using the KETRON SD9, right? So you heard me play the song. I was trying to play the song close to what it was and then add some more flavor in there, add some more modern beats. But we can do something which is very, very interesting. And let me show you what we can do with a function or a feature called live modeling. If you remember that song, there's an actual unique part that is done. It's just done by 4 musicians, if I'm not mistaken. But there's a part that is done with a banjo, right? You can actually hear like a banjo coming in there, right? So what can we do here with live modeling? Let's talk about that for a second. So I'm going to go into the live modeling feature on the keyboard, which is over here, and watch this. Let me get out of my registration mode. I'm going to go into live modeling. So this is what the rhythm sounds like as we just played right now. That's the first part in variation A. Okay, so in the summertime when the weather is hot, that's what you guys all heard, right? I'm going to now go a step further. I'm going to go into live modeling. Okay. And I'm going to try and do something interesting. I'm going to look at that folk guitar that we have in here, which is chord number 3, okay? I'm going to touch that and hold that for 2 seconds. So this is what I'm looking at the screen. That's my live modeling screen. All right, this is what it sounds like. In the summertime, and so on and so forth, right? I'm going to touch that chord number 3. I want to model that, all right? I'm going to hold that for 2 seconds. You see a red line around it. And I'm going to introduce a nice banjo part in that particular lyric, okay? So it's going to be a guitar part. So on the right-hand side here, I'm going to go into my guitar category, okay? I'm going to go in guitar. Let's go back to the screen so you see what I'm doing. Go into guitar. And it's asking me what guitar category do I want to select from. You have ballad, pop, dance, and funk, and folk. I'm going to go into the folk category. That's where my guitar resides, right? And there you go. You got banjo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to number 9. If I turn this wheel, you'll notice that there's a lot more, okay? And if you have the Ajamsonic package, you also have a lot more modern banjo riffs that we have. That's what we call them for the most part. So the style before we did this was like this. Okay, if I touch 4, listen to that. I just added a banjo in there. And that banjo is still following my progression as I'm changing chords here. Still see me change the chords, okay? And I'm still being able to use, now I can change the banjo if I want number 6. So this is where the modeling comes into play, all right? So in the summertime when the weather is hot, you can reach out high and touch the sky. Now, I just did that for chord variation A, okay? So I can go back and I can go to variation B and I can do, again, a different banjo in there. I can touch and hold this, and I'm going to go into guitar, go back into folk, and this time I want to go with banjo number 9. Let's see how that sounds. And the good thing about this is you can sample it as you're playing live, right? So A, this is the variation we had in A. Remember? This is what we did in variation A. Now in B, I have another banjo I just put in there, okay? And I can go on and on. I can go to C, and maybe in C, I want to use something else, right? So in C, I have a flamenco guitar in there. I'm going to replace that. Touch and hold it for 2 seconds. And I'm going to go into my guitar category. And I'm going to go back. This time, maybe I want to go into the Latin category, okay? And I want to do like a nice begin guitar. And remember, it's interesting that I'm doing this because in the original song, right? Remember what those guys were doing when they were doing, you know, they were using the beatbox, they were using their mouths to actually produce a particular track. And what amazed me about this song also is the fact that they used this nice vase, this flower vase, and had like a, you know, the human being is very, very creative, right? There's no musical instrument in the world that sounds like that, right? You have to either sample that or try to get really, really creative to reproduce that. But with the KETRON instruments, you can take that and you can add more, right? You can get more and more creative. So that's what we're here to talk about today for the most part. And you see what I just did. I just took that particular tune. I've added a nice banjo line using the live modeling. I modeled the guitar. I can model the drums. I can model the bass. There's so many other things that I can module actually in real time. So now if I turn on my lyrics, back to my lyrics page, and I play the same song, I just modified it before your eyes so you can understand what I'm doing. Take out the talk so I can get my reverb back, and this is what we're gonna sound like. In the summertime, when the weather is hot, you can reach up high and touch the sky. When the weather is right, you can reach up and touch the sky. Have a drink and a drive, go out and see what you can find. And that, my friends, is what you call live producing. Now, imagine if you can do this live in a matter of, 15 minutes or thereabout. In the studio where you have time to get a coffee, come back, turn the wheel, select this, lay out the tracks. Imagine what more you can do with this instrument if you were in the studio, right? So it's a very, very intriguing, unique design indeed for live performances, number one. Number two, also for use in the studio. So that was how we could use modeling. We could program pedals to change the pages. We can display the lyrics right there on the screen. Oh, and by the way, you can also display those lyrics right onto an external monitor, okay? So like if you see the one you have behind me right here, if I go back there for an example, I displayed, what page am I showing? That's my screen. If I go to my lyrics, you can see I can display the lyrics also, which is what you're seeing right here when I go down to this screen right there. So this is actually an output that's coming out of the keyboard, which you can be able to use to, like if you're playing in a club, you can have that on the screen. If you're playing in a church, you can have that on a display on the screen. The songs are scrolling, and you can control that with your feet in real time. So again, that's the power and the beauty of being able to use an instrument of this nature. The KETRON SD9, SD90, SD60. Great products indeed. So I'm going to check and see if I have any comments, and then we're going to move on to the next example, all right, which is a very, very interesting example indeed too, because now we're going into, like I said, we are going to go into different parts of the world in real time. So let's look at the comments and see who is saying what at this particular time. Let's see. We're going on to Facebook. We have some fellows there on Facebook who are looking at, let's see here, Facebook comments. Still relaxing as well. Oh, the folks on YouTube have finally woken up. Yes, sir. This is Bernard from France. Glad to see you too, Bernard. Glad to see you as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome indeed. Yes, pleasure having us on board. This is beautiful. Thank you, guys. Thank you guys so, so much. Thank you. Okay. And on this other one as well, BCC from Canada, can you load the music sheet like that as well? So yes, you can. So if you have it in a PDF, if it's in a PDF file or in a text file, you can load that into the instrument and have that display again on the onboard 7.5-inch screen, or on an external monitor as well. So that is beautiful. Let's see, any other questions before I move on to the next? Let's see here. Looking and looking and looking. Okay, good. So we have a couple of viewers still coming in as well. So we're going to move into the next example, right? So in this example, I'm going to use the new African nylon guitar. And again, this is a very unique instrument in the sense that it has a lot of articulation involved in the actual instrument. So depending on how you play, if you play hard or soft, this is going to be another one I'm going to try and get something interesting going on here, right? Again, based on my chords I play and based on my notes, you're going to hear the arrangement coming in as I just selected. So in this particular example, I am going to take down the drums. You see, I can control everything here real time on the panel. That's why you have all these sliders. And that's the beauty of this instrument. Some people might feel intimidated because you have so many buttons. It's actually a downgrade from the Audya, where we have about 102 buttons on that instrument. But the more buttons you have on the instrument, the faster you can get to any particular function, because you're not relying on menus and touch screens. So don't be scared, right? So here I have sliders and I can change anything I can take out. So for this, again, this is an arranger. I want to arrange this particular song, right? So what I'm going to do right here, if I go to my lyrics, I can see clearly now that was a song written by Johnny Nash and done by so many other composers, including Jimmy Cliff, who did the reggae version. And we're going to do the KETRON version, which is going to be our version of this particular tune. So I just wanted to show you what it is there. Okay, so in the beginning, I want to take out the drums. I don't want to hear the drums in the beginning. I'm going to take that out. I want to take out the bass as well, all right? I want to just have the chords performing and what I'm playing on my lead, which is strings and the African nylon guitar for the beginning. That's just for the first part, okay? So let's listen to this again. Just pay attention to the features that I'm showing you on the board, because this board will definitely sound better in your hands, right? So I'm pretty much just demonstrating and showing you what it can do, the different features. But now I want you to sit back at home in your chair and think about what it can do in your hands, okay? And that's why I'm not, because sometimes when we look at some of these demonstrations, when the instrument is overplayed, I know there's a thin line between over and underplaying, right? If it's overplayed, people tend to think that, well, hey, it sounds that good because it's in the hands of AJ or it's in the hands of Peter, you know, whoever. But if you underplay it, then you don't bring the best out of the instrument. So sometimes we intentionally don't play or pull back or hold back so you can feel more comfortable knowing that if this is in your hands, how much better would it sound, right? So let's listen to this one right now. So then we'll talk about some of the features I did. So in this case, we take out, again, it's all about the arrangement. You know, 3 or 4 different artists can play the same tune with different arrangements. And there's going to be one person that just gets the arrangement just right. And the whole world vibrates because of it, right? So let's look at this example here. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the darkest clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Gonna be a bright, 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 bright sunny day. I can see Shirley now, the rain is gone. Bring in the harmonizer with the little girls. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the clouds that hide the blind. Right then, it's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. So, how do you break that down? Let's get back into my talking mode again. I'm talking, take out the reverb, hit the pedal, turn off the vocalizer. I know it sounds like a lot of things, right? Like some people are thinking, well, how do you press this and touch that, and that, how do I limit that? I'm going to talk about that in a second as well. You can actually record all of this, and then when you get to this, the stage, or when you get to the gig, all you're doing is just recalling different parts of it, right? You just hit a button, you get the bridge, for an example, you hit another button, you get the verse. And if you're a guitar player or an accordion player or a MIDI, using any MIDI controller, the chances are that's what you probably want to do, because you might not have the capability to be pressing all these pedals and touching that. But doing this also adds more life to the music, right? Sometimes I want to say spirit, for lack of a better word, in the room that you're performing at challenges you and pushes you to do certain things. So you can do a song in venue A, and you can perform that same song in venue B, and it will be a little bit different because there was a lot more energy coming from the crowd in B that was firing you up, right? When you use backing tracks, when you rely solely on backing tracks, you sound the same no matter where you go for the most part, unless you're a good lead player and you can add and comp with some lead parts over the backing track, right? But in this case, you can use the tracks, you can use a combination of backing tracks and arranger, which we'll talk about with the Launchpad. That's going to come up very, very soon. So in this case, I wanted to just show you the guitar in particular. That was a nice guitar sound. But really, it's the articulation in that guitar, okay? And here, of course, it's a layered sound as well. It's layered over the strings and then the bells as well that we have in some of those voices, okay? So this is, again, some of the features that you can get out of this machine, and trust me, it's in the right hands. You can make this thing sound and scream like a bird, or whatever you want to do. It's just left to your imagination. Okay. Now, in this next demonstration, which is similar to what I started off at the beginning of the presentation, but this time I'm going to use the same rhythm and I'm going to play a different song. So I was playing Let It Be by the Beatles, and I'm going to try now to do the same, same rhythm, So imagine if I just same rhythm. Now we're going to be able to play the song Imagine with it, right? So this is an interesting one because, again, we spoke about, well, get into that talk button right there real quick. Okay, so we spoke about in the beginning, just a few minutes ago, how to avoid pressing buttons when you're performing, when you're doing stuff. Oh, look at my fingers over there in the back screen. No, I don't have white nails. It must be some strange effect. I think is a loop going on back and forth. But let's go back to the normal screen there. Okay, so pretty much. Okay, so you can hear now I'm playing with the chord and the backing as well. Okay, so what I was saying was, in this demonstration, there's a couple of things I want to show you. With the vocal harmonizer, you heard when I was playing, the other song I just did with the harmonizer, I was able to use the pedals to turn the harmony on and off, right? Okay, so also I can now, let me show you the screen so you can see what I'm talking about here. Not only can I turn the harmonizer on and off, but I can assign different harmonizer to the different variations, okay? Which is actually a feature that we call arranger to A, B, C, D. So if I show you the screen here real quick, let's get out of here. Let's go back into our screen. In the vocalizer, when I press and hold down the micro button for 2 seconds, it takes me to that screen, right? On the right column, you have the vocalizer settings, the harmonizer, the girls that back you up when you're singing. On the left column, you have yourself, and that's the microphone settings, your reverb, standard, EQ, echo, all that stuff is on the left. But let me talk about the right side, okay? If I go into the right-hand side and I touch the edit button, look at this. So now I have a function I just turned on. It's called voice turn to arrange. You can either turn it on or off, right? Right now, in my case, it's on. And what I did with that function on is this. If I go now to the voice turn to arrange, you see that arranger A is assigned off, which means that when I'm playing, when the arranger A button is on, there is no vocalizer setting. It's going to be just my voice, my natural voice. Once I go to arranger B, I have selected duet, and I can touch that and I can pick whatever else I want to put in there, right? So I can program arranger B to be of a particular type. For this song, I want it to be a duet mode. When I go to arranger C, I want it to be off. And when I go to arranger D, I want to use the chain open mode, right? And when I stop playing the keyboard, I want to use default. So I can select in here, turn off the arranger or use the default setting, whatever the default setting is prior to coming into this screen, right? So the reason why I'm showing you this is because when I come back out, right, when I get out of this right now, what I want you to pay attention to when I'm playing, not just enjoying the song, but seeing what is actually happening. If we come to the top of the screen real quick, you'll notice the top panel of the keyboard. That's arranger A, B, C, D. So these buttons change the variation of the rhythm, number one. They also change the lead voices. If I go into voice and variation, right here, voice to A, B, C, I can program the first. When I'm in arranger A, I want the piano to be on. When I'm in B, I want a marked piano. When I'm in C, I want an ensemble string sound. And when I'm in D, I want the flugelhorn or trumpet. Such that when I go, when I turn that on, all right, here's the first one, second one, third one, fourth. You can see that right now. When I press arranger A, the first screen got selected. When I press arranger B, you see the red line tells you that that's on right now. So you can hear my voice. The harmony just came on because I pressed arranger B. Arranger C, the harmony goes off and the voice changes. And arranger D, the harmony came on a different type. And again, there's a voice change, okay? So I'm going to turn that voice to ABC off for this song because I don't want the voices to be changing. However, I do want the harmonizer to be changing and I want the style to be changing. So what that means in a nutshell is that when I'm playing this song, all I have to do is just change from different variations. And three things can be changing at the same time. The variation of the style, the vocalizer, harmonizer, effects, microphone, and the lead voice, whatever lead voice I'm playing on the right-hand side. Okay? So that's what the voice to ABCD, voice turn to ABCD function does. Okay? So let's talk about that and let's actually demonstrate it. So let's demonstrate it so you have a better idea of what I'm talking about. Okay, here we go. Where are my lyrics? I'm gonna hit the lyric button again and I have the lyrics to my song right there. Okay. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try, especially nowadays. No hell below us. Above us only sky filled be. Imagine all the people living for today. Ooh. Imagine there's no countries. Won't be no possessions too. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood or sisterhood of a man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. And no religion, nothing to kill or die for. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. One more time. You must say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. So, what were we doing over there? Back into talk mode again. You can notice that by using that particular feature, right, you are able to focus on your performance, focus on the music. And all you have to do is just change the different variations, right? And you can do that with your finger, or if you're a guitar player, or you are using a MIDI instrument, or even a keyboard player, you can get the FS6 or the FS13 pedal, right? And those switches, those pedals, will look like this. I can actually show you the diagram here on the screen, and you can see what I'm talking about, right? And so the pedal, it's a foot switch, it's right there. So the FS6 is just the top row, the first part. And you can program that pedal to do different things. Like in my case, I have number 1, which is my vocalizer, on and off. So that when I press that button, I can have the harmonizer singing. And when I press it again, I can have the harmonizer singing, right? So pretty much I'm actually pressing the button on the pedals. Turn on the vocalizer, turn off the vocalizer, bring in some reverb. This can all be done with the pedals. And the FS13 pedal is what you see on your screen right now, foot switch 13, which gives you, excuse me, 13 different programmable, dry voice, programmable, assignable pedals, right? So, like a glass of water or something. Sorry about that. So these pedals are very important because if you're performing live, wow, that's the thing about live performances, right? Okay. If you're performing live, you can actually use the pedals and program the pedals for specific functions. That way, when you're playing with the keyboard, you focus on your performance. Whenever you leave the keyboard to touch a button, the music somehow suffers, right? So sometimes musicians will have to think about it and think in advance and say to themselves, "Hey, listen, I'm coming up with this particular part of the song. I need to press this button before I do that." Once you find yourself doing that, somehow the music still suffers. It might still go ahead with the performance, but it does, something has to give, something has to pay the price. And so with the pedals, that it gives you a better ease of mind to be able to program certain functions. And in the song we just did right now, you could see what I was doing there, changing the different voices and having the harmony parts on and off while I focus on the performance, right? So in the next example, but before I do that, let's go back in and see if we have any questions coming up over here. Let's go into our folks on Facebook. What do you have for us? Oh, yeah. Conventional, very, very good. Hello, AJ. The voice drum has not convinced me. What presets are you using? Duet? So, no. So there are many, many presets in the voice drum. Right now, for this particular song that I used Duet. And I also I can go back in there and check it out real quick. Let's go press the microphone button for 2 seconds and go to that. And I use the chained open as well. So I could have used, for example, the trio, right? And assigned that one to variation D. I can assign that to D, right? So you see that I can actually, let me get myself off the screen here so you can see I'm using the pedals. And I can touch the pedals, on and off. So I'm using the pedal to turn that vocalizer setting on and off. So imagine. I can now switch that and pick, let's say, trio. Imagine. I can go back and let's say I want to pick duet. Unison. You. Press and hold that and get back in there. I have unison. I can turn the wheel. I can go to auto soft. So let's just, for the sake of the person that asked a question about the vocalizer, right? That's auto tune soft. Auto tune soft. Auto tune. This is duet. This is a duet setting. Duet. Take out the talk. Duet setting. Duet. This is trio. Trio. So in the trio, you could actually hear another fifth, another voice underneath my voice, right? Trio setting, trio. All right, let's go to the other one called chain closed. Chain closed. Chain closed. Chain open, chain is open now, the chain is open. Second down, second down, second up, second up. Pitch correction number 1,
pitch correction number 2,
harmony natural, harmony melodic. Sing to the melody. Bluegrass down. The bluegrass is used a lot for country music. Hee-haw. Bluegrass up with the banjo. Bluegrass up, also used for country music. Of course, you got the trio up. Daylight come and me wanna go home. I got the folk up as well, the folk up and down. So as you can see, there are various vocalizer settings that you can select from. I just chose those two, for that particular song. And again, like I said, it depends on whose hands this eventually ends up in, right? Because you can actually tweak and program that to some extent, also based on the music that you are performing and that you're playing, right? So let's see. Any more questions that we had? I just joined the show late. How is it going? Of course, Ali just joined the show late. We didn't get to your MIDI file yet, so I think actually this might be a good time to do that. Al Smith is one of our customers over in the New York area, very famous, renowned guitar player who also just purchased the KETRON Audya 4. And together, we're going to get together with Al and some other boys and come up with a demo on what the guitar players can actually get out of the Audya 4, which is another level altogether. So thanks, Al, for joining in. And you're able to catch us up on this as well. So we have done a couple of tunes, but we're going to get to those MIDI files and talk about that particular feature as well. Al was gracious enough to give us a few of his MIDI files that he uses to perform, and he would like to hear how that sounds on the KETRON SD product as well. And I'm going to take this advantage to demonstrate that and also demonstrate another function on the KETRON called the drum remix, which is being able to use a MIDI file and spice it up with the drums. One of the most one of the drawbacks of using the MIDI file are the drums. The MIDI drums have not yet come a long way for the most part. Now on the KETRON, you can trigger live drums, or you can actually trigger live audio drum loops. And what you can do is you can replace the drum of a MIDI file with the audio drum coming from the keyboard itself. And let's actually do that right now that Al has brought that to our attention before going to the next song, right? So I'm going to get out of this screen and I'm going to go here, and let me show you guys what I'm looking at on my screen, right? So we are going to go to MIDI file. We're going to play this MIDI file. I'm going to go over to the player right here, and it's going to take me to this screen, if I can get to that real quick. And we're going to look at this song right here, Uptown Funk, I believe it was what it's called. So these are, you can see the screen, right? I have all the files that Al sent to us, and these are MIDI files, right? Just GM, general MIDI files. And we're going to now be able to play this MIDI file through the KETRON so you can hear what it sounds like coming out of the KETRON, but also be able to enhance this on the KETRON in real time. So let me go with this Uptown Funk, right? Touch it twice, it starts to play. So that's so this is playing with the KETRON MIDI drums, okay? Here we go. Now the good thing about this is in real time I can go to GM and watch all the different tracks that are playing, right? If I'm playing live, I can decide to mute that lead part, track number 4. I just muted it right now. So if I'm a guitar player, I'm playing the part myself. So this is all going on in real time. I can unmute the track. Okay. Oh yeah. Now, not only can I do that, you can hear the drums, right? These are very nice drums indeed, coming in through. I can now use what I call a drum remix, all right? Go to drum restyle, all right? And watch what I'm about to do. I can pick a style, and I'm gonna use the style drums, and it's gonna replace the drum of the MIDI file instantly. Here we go. Here we go. That's African samba pop adding onto this nice American tune. Here we go. So the MIDI file has just changed right now. The same song we're playing, but with a live drum. And I can always go back to the original MIDI drum right there. That's the original MIDI drum right there. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and drum remix. Feel. I can feel. So I'm playing the style part, the drum, but I'm playing with the MIDI file, and I'm introducing that in real time. And remember, I can always control the volume of the drums in real time. Right there. Real time. MIDI drums, audio drums, wave audio in real time. Bass as well. Bring the bass down. Bring up the bass. I can always control, even though it's a MIDI file. Now I'm playing a MIDI file and a style kind of together. MIDI file and style, real time. So I see some guys clapping out there, right? You can always call us if if you have any questions as well. I think I have my harmonizer still on. Let's turn that harmonizer off. There we go. Get out of talk, back into talk mode. So that was the drum remix feature, drum remix, right? So you can take a MIDI file, the way it was programmed, and you can use the KETRON live drums, right? At any instant, in and out, in real time. Not only can you do that, you can also control those drums. Not only can you do that, you can also control the other elements of the MIDI file, the bass and the guitars. Okay, you also have live guitars. That's a whole new genre altogether. That's a whole new level over there. Okay, we'll talk about that one later too. If not in this workshop, maybe in another future one. But I wanted to just show you exactly how you can actually be able to enhance the file. Okay, so the file, Alan says, play the file, what is hip? Okay, so let's go into that one. I'm going to disengage the drummer style. What is hip? Hit that 2 times. Get the guitar parts. I can always go into the GM section, and I can actually work on those instruments, right? Track number 11, for example, GM mixer. I can go into track number 11, that little guitar over there. Bring up that volume in real time. Oh, I'm not showing the screen, am I? Here we go. So this is the MIDI file. It's actually performing in real time, right? So what I'm doing is I'm actually controlling the different parts. Bass line, bring up that bass, make it fatter. Also, see what we did the auto tune or the auto panning, right? So we have some of the tracks where you can hear the sound pan to the left and panning to the right automatically, okay? So you actually do that automatically, left and right as well. So again, can I do the remix of this one? This one seems to have a structured drum, right? right? So it's like you can hear like a hip hop, for example. So I'm gonna go to drum restyle, and I'm gonna see what I can pick as a drum part, right? I'm gonna go into, let's see, rock, and I'm gonna pick, let's see, British rock, for example. Not quite what it is. Only rock and roll. So there you have it. Again, and it's going to ask you, do you want to save that remix? Do you want to save it so that next time you play the MIDI file, you won't have to be doing all this searching for the drum and everything. It will just play automatically, and it will play the exact drum part at the exact time that you did it as well. I'm going to hit cancel for now. But I just wanted to, talk about this because it was a good thing that Al actually came in. You see Al's songs, I have it in there in a specific folder. And again, this was also to give you an idea of how your MIDI files, you have these files in your machine, for example, be that Roland, Casio, Yamaha. How would those MIDI files sound on a KETRON product? So that could be another thing too. So for those of you out there who are not privy to have a dealer or a distributor in your area, but you want to hear how your music in particular would sound like on a KETRON instrument, don't hesitate to send us that information. And what I will do is I can actually play that information on the KETRON instrument in question, and then what will happen is I can send it back to you, and then you can listen to it in the MP3 or WAV format, and then you will know for sure that, well, this is how my music sounds on my gear right now. How is it going to sound like going through a KETRON SD9 or a KETRON Audya or a KETRON Audya with the AJAMSONIC package installed, or a KETRON SD60 with the AJAMSONIC package installed? So these, again, it's the flexibility is all in your hands, right? So thank you so much, Al, for having given us those. These are fat MIDI files. You could hear the drums, you could hear the bass, you could hear the umphness in that kind of music as well. So again, it all depends on what you want to do. These instruments are very, very flexible. What do you want to do with them? That's the question, right? What KETRON have done is they have given you, and that's the official pronunciation, it's actually KETRON, right? Not KETRON, KETRON, keyboard electronics, KETRON. So what KETRON have done is they've given you the tool, they've given you the capability to be able to produce music. Now, what you produce is based on your imagination, right? And remember, as a musician, unfortunately, if you are into music today, for some unknown reasons why, you also have to have a slight idea about technology, right? Because back in those days, if you were an artist or a musician, let's say your guitar player, all you worried about was the guitar. Well, today it doesn't cut it, right? You have to have a guitar, maybe some synth sound. You have to maybe know how to record or do this. So now we're giving you the tools as a musician without having to get a degree in engineering to be able to operate that, as you could see there, what we just did on that MIDI file, right? So Al, thank you so much. Price in the US dollars for, let's see, what will be the price in US dollars for the SD9 UAE? Oh yes, we can actually ship to you in the UAE. So the information's on the bottom right there. Just reach out to us and we can talk about that, okay? Because of course we have to also calculate the shipping charges to the UAE as well. But we do ship worldwide. We do ship to Canada. We do ship into some countries in Europe as well. And just reach out to us on the bottom of the screen. Reach out to us either by email or by telephone, and we can discuss how to get these products into your hands, right? So that's the customer client asking about UAE. Let's see what's happening with the folks on Facebook. People on Facebook again. Let's see where they're at today. Couple of questions coming in. I'm trying to look at the screen here. All is good. That's good. Yeah. Where does the PDF go and how do you assign it to the song? Okay, so the PDF file goes into the folder, right? If I go to this drive, let me get out of here. So if I go into media, all right, you have the KETRON drive and you have the AJAMSONIC drive. So I'm going to go into that KETRON drive. So in this case, all my PDF files are here in this folder called Song Lyrics, right? If I go into that folder, if I touch that, you see, these are all my different PDF songs. So manually, for example, if I can touch My Jesus, right? If I touch that, you see it's going to display the song right there. My Jesus, my Savior. If I get out of there and I touch Awesome God, it's going to display right there. Our God is an awesome God. All right. So these are all my PDF files. These are all, either the music itself or the music with the notation. Okay. So let me give you an example of notation right here. This is a PDF right there. Right. So you can actually have the actual music displayed on your screen as well in real time. And then I can use my pedal to change the page, right? Page up, that's page up right there. Page up, that's page up, or page down. Okay, I'm answering the question with a PDF. So all the PDF files go into anywhere really, but for me, I like to be organized. So I made a folder called song lyrics in the hard drive, in the solid state drive, and that's where I have all my PDFs. So they're all in one place. Now, how do you assign them? So when you go to registration, you have your song setting, right? So your registration is your song setup. So you set the keyboard up, for example, what MIDI file do you want to use, or what style do you want to use, what right-hand voice do you want to use, what left-hand voice, do you want to transpose it, the tempo, you do all that good stuff. And then you hit save and you create a registration. These are all my song settings here. So you can see, for example, I give my hands, I have loved you. These are all song settings called registrations. If you are with Korg, you use songbooks, right? So this is a similar terminology. Yamaha, I believe, uses registrations as well. So that's what this is, right? But the magic is you want to link a registration to a song. So for an example, if I have this registration here, like I did here in the case of Carpenter, which I haven't done yet, right? I'm still getting to that one. But let me give you an example of what I did. So Carpenter is a registration. I have the machine set up for that particular song. All right, so you load the registration, okay? It loads up right now. Let's assume it didn't have that lyric to it, right? This is what your registration. Now I'm going to go into, turn that reverb off. It was preparing me for Carpenter. I'm going to now go into, let me show you what I'm doing on the panel here. So you've loaded the registration up. You have the lyrics. You now go into the player one button. Oh, turn off the registration, go into player one, and you go to the folder where you have all your lyrics. So in this case, it'll be song lyrics for me. And you look at the song, you look for your lyrics called Carpenter, which in this case is gonna be somewhere down here. All right, you make sure you have the lyric already inside the folder. And I think I have, it's called Carpenter or called The Carpenter. I don't remember what I called it before. Let's see. Christmas, Chipmunks, Summer for Two, Oh Lonely Night, Jingle Bells, Lord I Lift Your Name on High. I think it's just called Carpenter. See. Away in a Manger, let's see, or The Carpenter. Jake Helmina BKRST. Let's see, where do I have that? I know I had it in here somewhere. If you guys see it, let me know. I must be getting old. So let's see, Carpenter, the lyrics. PDF file, Carpenter had to be in here. Just can't remember if I called, yeah, If I Were a Carpenter. Okay, I called it If I Were a Carpenter, right? So that's why I couldn't find it. I was looking for Carpenter. So this is my PDF file. So you touch the PDF file one time. So you touch it, right? And then it loads. Now, I'm going to hit the save button on the panel. See? Right here, I press the save button on the panel, okay? So when you press save, it's now going to ask you, do you want to save registration, custom startup, or factory? You're going to touch registration, right? And now it's going to say save as, and you want to just hit save again because you want to save it with the same name. So you've just linked it. It's called registration link. So you've linked your registration to the PDF. Remember, you can also link a registration to a WAV file or to a MIDI file or to a video, right? So when you load that registration up, everything that is associated with that song, if it's an MP3, if it's a WAV, if it's a video, if it's a PDF or a text, all those, one of them anyway, will be loaded up together with the registration. And that's one of the differences between the SD9 series and the Audya. In case of the Audya, you can link up to 20 things with a registration. It's called block registration. In other words, when I load a registration, it can give me 20 things: a style, a voice, a text file, a lead voice, a wave, MP3, another set of MIDI files. It can give me all of those. So I can have 20 things associated with one registration on the Audya series. On the SD, it's only one thing. So in this case, we just linked that registration to that PDF. such that when I get to my show or when I get to church, all I have to do is recall that registration or song setting. It will recall the lyrics, it will recall the wave or whatever I linked it up to that, in conjunction with the arranger parts, the style, the tempo, the BPM, and all that good stuff, right? So I hope I answered that question on how you can do that. How much music is, how can you load the music sheet like that as well so you can use that? Okay, I just answered that question. I think a couple of guys were asking the question on different pages. So Facebook, let's see, KETRON, my guy, let's see. Funky Rhythm, yeah, we just did that one already as well. Where do you say the PDF and how do you assign it? Okay, we just answered that question. Okay. I have to go translate the Spanish one for the USB. Sorry, I don't understand Spanish. If you can translate that in Google and send it out here, I can answer your question in real time. Okay, procedure for Justin Timberlake, Mark Rosen, who also want to play new songs. Yes, if you have those songs on the MIDI file, right? You send me those songs and I can play them through the machine so you can hear exactly what they would sound like in real time. Are you going to use those black and white things? Which black and white things? The keys? Oh, yeah. I was demonstrating the MIDI file, so I was just playing. I wanted you to hear what the MIDI file sounds like. We're about to use the black and white things in the next in the next demonstration. I like the way he called it, black and white things. They're called keys. Keys, yes, sir, keys. All right, let's go over here to this page. Let's see. Love this, love this. Thank you, thank you. Need a keyboard. Which mark and series? I need that keyboard. Yeah, this is a KETRON. KETRON, and this is the SD9. We have the information on the, let me go back to that page so I can, on the screen right now, you have on the bottom of the screen, it's going to give you the the contact information you can reach us at, and we can work on getting these to you. Now, for those of you on the African Forum, we have some stuff coming to you at the end of this presentation as well, okay? And I think that's going to also be mind-blowing as to what you can and cannot do with the keyboard, especially with the African guitars. But let's continue here. We have SD9, correct. Okay, let's go back to our friends on managing like 4 different channels at the same time, but that's all good. Oh, the YouTube guys are finally awake. Oh, very nice, AJ. The possibility to affect Vocalizer preset is that? Yes, I answered that question. I just joined. Okay, we got from Al. Wonderful keyboard. Very nice depth and styles as well. Thank you. Thank you very much. And a lot of the sounds we've done, the beginning of the demonstration, we used just the factory sounds, factory voices. And then we went on to the AJAMSONIC voices as well, right? Okay, Don Mason, the Don, Alan and Don are exchanging the voices here. So yes, Don, actually you inspired one of those tunes. There was a video you put up there of that little kid that was playing outside of his house with his friend on drums. And the opening song was In the Summertime, which we just did. So if you missed that, Don, we might do it again at the end of this video, but it was done at the beginning of this video as well. And we also did I Can See Clearly and some other songs that we've been doing. Was trying to show how folks can use these machines when it comes to performing these kinds of songs. And so the features, how do you use these features to integrate them into their performances, right? Not just playing things in general, right? So let's see here. I was over on top of the keyboard as well, and we're about to get into the other one. So I'm going to go and continue with the demo. I hope I've answered most of your questions. I'm going to try and do another one again. This one I'm not going to sing. I'm just going to show you some features here as how this works. So in this particular example, I'm going to go over here. I think it was called The Walk of Life, another famous turn on the microphone, get into my talk mode. Now, one of the good things about this song was the sound that was used, okay? And we're going to try to replicate that here. But again, remember, when you play these songs, you try to bring your own part into the song as well. You're not just trying to, play the original song as is or as written, but you also want to bring your own thing to the table, right? What can you add to that tune? So in this one, I'm going to arrange it differently. And that's the good thing about having the arranger. You can actually control the different tracks in real time. I'm going to take out the drum. I'm going to take out the bass. I'm just going to start with melody and a nice live guitar on my left hand, right? So again, focus on the feature. Also, I'm going to use a function here called the voice to ABCD, which means that as I'm changing the variation, I want the voice to also change, the right-hand voice. Remember, when we spoke about this a few minutes ago, we mentioned that you can actually press less buttons as you perform because of these features. So I can program these buttons to not only change the variation of the style, but also to change the lead voice and also to change the vocalizer settings. I might want to have, let's say, a trio harmony here. I want to have the girls keep quiet here. I want to have just 2 girls back me up here. And I want to have 3 girls back me up in the finale, right? So that's what I'm doing right now. But in this case, I'm going to keep quiet and let the machine do the talking for me. So what was happening over there? Some guys are clapping again. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. But it's not about me, right? It's about the instrument. Again, what can you do with this instrument? So that was Walk of Life, right? As you most likely know, okay? And you notice that there was some doo-wops coming in there as well, right? So we were able to use some Ajamsonic choir voices. If you have the package, okay, you have the oohs and the ahs and those choir voices which are in that package. And you can integrate those voices and use them with your styles, or you can actually play them with the lead voices as well as you're performing, okay? Now, thank goodness that we were able to introduce the sampler into the SD9 and the SD90 and 60. The Audya series already has built-in sampler into it. But now because of that sampler, we are able to add our sounds. We're able to add our drum kits, our own drum sets, right? So you can add additional drum kits and drum set onto the machine with either 400 megabytes of memory, or with the package, you can get up to 700 megabytes of memory as well. You can also increase the storage. I believe you have 16 gigabytes or 8 in some cases, depending on when you got the product. And with the package, we can also go as high as 120, 240, or even 500 gigabytes of storage that you can actually have onto the machine. So it all depends on what you are looking for, right? Just wanted to throw that out there for those of you who might not be versatile with that information. So again, with the Walk of Life, we have some nice synth voices that we used, okay, some strings, some pads, but the very, very interesting thing was being able to use those doo-wops as well and control that in real time. Yep. Dan Locke, yes, the young man, he was very, very inspirational. I mean, the guy, I wish I could get him in here to sing. He has a very, very nice a nice voice, and there are very few artists, okay? I look at him, I'm looking at the late Whitney Houston, right, who can sing. They have a very wide vocal range. They can sing all the way up here, and they can sing all the way down here as well, too. Okay, that's also a gift, and it's a blessing indeed. So that was, again, a demonstration to show you how we could use that particular feature in that. Again, today's demonstration is focusing on using the features for real songs. And I'm hoping that Facebook and YouTube do not take down this video because it's just for presentation purposes only, right? And that's why we've been holding back on this, because these guys at YouTube and Facebook are sometimes very vicious, but we understand, okay? So with this next demonstration, we're going to do this other song right here, all right? And this is a very nice song that was written by John Holt, but has been done by many, many, many artists, especially in the country and in the reggae, right? Those were the two dominant worlds for the most part. And so I was just thinking to myself, if this song did well in the country realm, okay, in country pop, and this song did equally well in the reggae realm, what if we did a blend of the two, all right? And that's the power of the arranger. How can you take songs from this part of the world and from that part of the world and make something different? There is no, if you think about it, there's no, for the past few years, there hasn't really been any new music, right? Anything brand new like we've not heard before. A lot of songs that are coming out today are like combinations of a song from here, a song from there, or a music element from here, a music element from there, put together, and you have something nice and something different, right? So in this case, we're going to use, for our example, Carpenter, a song that was written by John Holt, and we're going to perform it in our own way as well, right? So this one is very interesting, right? I'm going to show you multi-layer voices. So if I play soft, for example, I get an organ. If I play a little bit harder, I'm going to get the Ajamsonic guitar, okay, guitar number 2, right, which has all the bends and the licks and the most important articulation. That's what you get with that package. Most of the woodwinds and string instruments, it's not just the note or the sample, but also the body. How does the instrument react? In the case of a saxophone, the valves opening and closing, the human breath as you blow into the instrument, right? So with the Ajamsonic package, we capture all of that, okay? And that's what makes our sounds a little bit more unique and interesting as compared to the standard voices. Not only that, we don't rely on a button to turn on and off the articulation, right? So you're not playing, again, like I said before, when you have to leave the keyboard and trigger something, right, you take away from the music, especially if you're playing live. Now, for those of you like Al, for example, backing tracks, perfect, because you can arrange all of this stuff in the studio at home, and then when you go to the stage, you're just recalling everything, right? Recall this, recall that, recall that. But in the case of this with styles, you are doing this on the fly in real time, right? So the less you have to push, the better, or the more you can automate, the better. And this is one instance where I can play soft, have an organ sound, play it harder, have the guitar, play very, very hard, and have just the guitar alone. So I'm going to be playing soft, I'm going to play medium and hard to trigger the 3 different voices. I mean, even in some cases, go to version 2 and have all 3 playing at the same time, regardless of my velocity, regardless of how hard or soft I play the keyboard, right? For this song. Again, I'm just showing you the different features that you can use for this particular, for any song that you're performing, right? This, I think, is the best way to actually showcase the machine versus just saying this can do that, and this can do that, and this can do that. So in this song, Carpenter, we're going to now take live drums, okay, but we're also going to mix that with the modern pop, okay, and you're going to hear that in the instrument, and we're going to have some little subtle parts that are playing in real time, and I can control that as well to give it that blend, that feel, okay. So here we go. In this case, I'm going to start. Let's see. I'm going to take out the drums. I'm going to leave percussion, and I'm going to leave the bass playing. Okay. So let me go into the top of the screen here so you see what I'm talking about. And then we can drums. I'm calling you my baby tonight. If I were a carpenter and you were my lady, would you marry me anyway? Would you have my baby? If you were a carpenter and I was your lady, I would marry you anyway, and I'll have your baby. If I were a miller and the mill went grinding, would you miss your colored blouse and your soft shoe shining? If you were a miller and the mill while grinding, I'd not miss my colored blouse and my soft shoe shining. Save your love through loneliness, save your love through sorrow. I gave you my loneliness, please give me tomorrow. Oh, oh, oh. I'm calling you sweetheart. If I were a carpenter and you were a lady, would you marry me anyway? Would you have my baby? If you were a carpenter and I were a lady, oh no, I would marry you anyway, and I'd have your baby. Oh, oh, oh. If I were a carpenter and you were my lady, would you marry me anyway? Would you be my lady? Oh yeah. If I were a carpenter and you were my lady, oh, would you marry me anyway? Would you have my baby? Would you marry me anyway? Would you have my baby? So there you have it. That was a nice one, right? So you see how you can combine, okay? You can actually take reggae and take pop, for example, and have that effect in there, you know, like this, the little drums and the live drums, and you call up the different parts in real time. Again, no need for an iPad, no need for an external device because you have everything right here. I had the lyrics right here on my screen, and I could scroll them in real time using my pedals, okay, to change the page. As you can see right there, I can change the page with my pedal, or I can scroll with the pedal. It all depends on how how I set this up. And again, don't let the lyrics fool you. This is not karaoke, it's not a backing track. I can control that lyric myself and change it, okay? It's not the song that's doing that. Even though you can also, now that I'm thinking about this, use a MIDI file, right? The MIDI file can actually be used to control the lyrics. So if you're a guitar player, some of this doesn't fascinate you because as a guitar player, you're asking yourself, I cannot play this and touch that and do all that stuff, right? Even if I get the module, how am I going to do that? Well, there's two ways to do it. You can pre-record this, okay, at home, and then bring up the tracks and use that in a live setting. Or you can use the pedals and trigger the different parts with the pedals. Like if you use markers, right? You can have markers on your MIDI file and say, I want to jump to the verse, I want to jump to the chorus, because the guitar player really wants to focus on the solo and what he's doing, or anybody who has a MIDI controller for that part, right? So that's a very, very powerful tool right there as well. So let's see if we have any questions. Hello from Berlin. Oh yeah, we got people from Berlin as well. Wow, this is worldwide. Thank God for YouTube. So what's hip hop on the audio? Let's see. If you have time, can you play what is hip hop on the audio? Okay, yes, if we have some time as well, too. Yes, sir. Don Mason, the young guy's name. Okay, good. That's on YouTube. Let's go over to Facebook and see what's. Oh, a lot of comments coming in on the Facebook as well. Let's see. Awesome, thanks, Salim. Please, the styles and sounds are all the MP3s in my hand. Give a part of the AJAMSONIC packages for the player. No, so I haven't touched any of the MP3s right now on the AJAMSONIC package. We'll set up a different demonstration for that because we have to keep on, pleading with YouTube and Facebook not to take those down because these are songs with copyright issues that go on back and forth. But we will do a separate demonstration for that. The AJAMSONIC waves that I've been using are the drums so far up on this part. The drums and the live guitars. These are also what come in with the new software. If you have software 2.0 or higher, because now you have a sampler, you can actually enjoy this package to its fullness, right? Bonjour, bonjour. Okay, we have, this is good. Okay, good. SD9, cool demo. Thank you so much. So that is, again, I was using that as an example to talk about what we can do. Now, because as though this is an American holiday, we're going to do one, which is going to be like an a cappella, because it's not just about playing rhythms and, let's see here, talk. There we go. Am I back on? 1, 2. Yes, I am. So it's not only about having to play styles and rhythms and what have you, right? You can also use this for composition in terms of writing songs for scoring, for theater work, for movies, right? And so in this example, I'm just going to do freestyle, free play, right? So for the most part, I'm just going to play along. It's not really a style per se. It is a style that has no presets. What do I want to call it? no preset tempo or no preset guidelines, and I can freestyle. But what I've done here is that in my arranger A, I have it as a freestyle, okay? And in arranger B, I have a particular tempo, a particular beat I'm going to play along with as well too. So this is just to give you an idea of what you can do with the AJAMSONIC voices in particular, especially if you have some of the new sounds. Also, those voices can also be incorporated into your style. Now, I think I need to actually just demonstrate this so you have a better idea of what you know. Oh, Mel Berger, a good customer of ours, also in New Jersey, and he has bought every single KETRON instrument I can imagine. Mel, hope your SD90 is doing well for you as well too. Okay, so without much ado, let's go back in here to this demonstration. So this is for our beautiful country, the United States of the good old USA. But I'm going to make it my own, right? I'm going to try and make this something that is, you know, inspirational, given the fact that today is Martin Luther King holiday, and also what the world and what the United States is currently going through. So let's do something for America. And you're gonna see me moving buttons up and down. That's my second voice. I can instantly layer, okay? I can crossfade between voices. And there you have it. America the Beautiful, right? Our version, our rendition. And I was just changing that in real time so you can understand the power of the arranger and being able to arrange, okay? So that's a song that pretty much most of us know, and we know how it was originally written. But this is how you can make it your own, especially with those string sounds, with the violin, the violas, multi-layers, being able to trigger that soft or hard, So pretty much it's a lot of things that are going on live, right? And believe me, it is not that is simple as just pushing buttons. You have to have an idea of what you're trying to do and then how to achieve that. This is just the tool, right? So sometimes you say it's the keyboardist, it's not the keyboard. Well, a good keyboard in the hands of a good keyboardist, yeah, that's the ultimate goal, right? A good keyboard in the hands of a bad keyboard player, the keyboard could save him or her from that situation. A bad keyboard in the hands of a good player, well, I've seen some good players make some bad keyboards sound good. So it all depends on where you're coming from and what you're trying to achieve, right? But again, those sounds, Ajamsonic violin sounds and the flute that you heard there, these are, again, sounds that just make you sound better and how you want to arrange that on the keyboard as you're performing, right? So let's see if we have any more questions again. Mel is saying great. I'm sure, Mel, I can't see you waving your flag. So this is nice. This is nice. Let's go to the folks on Facebook and see what they're saying. Are you MP3s? No, still question MP3. Facebook sound. This is that. Okay, good. So we're gonna end with some other interesting stuff as well. We always go above. I mean, we try to keep it 1 hour, but we get questions. We get people asking more stuff. Now we're at 1 hour and 49. But everyone is still here. That's the good thing. People are actually still here, still watching as well too. So I'm going to go over real quick, and I'm going to go into this other one right now. And in this example, I'm going to use the Launchpad for my African brothers. And this is going to give you an idea of the power of the KETRON products, being able to use, let's see here, new, correct. Being able to use guitar sound. I'm going to go ahead and change that. Let's go into the user bank. I want to go to the guitar. And which guitar am I looking for now? Ethnic user. Go to page 1. All right, so let's change the screen so you can see my So, again, on that note, I'm going to be saying goodbye on this last number. Thank you all for having joined us today. Where's my face on this thing here? There, I'm in the little corner. Thank you all for coming out today in today's demonstration. As you notice, again, we were trying to go ahead and we were trying to show the features of the KETRON SD9, SD90, SD60, which you can use to play existing songs. And again, we'll play it with Facebook and with YouTube, not to take down this video because of the content. The content is used for illustrative and demonstrative purposes only. And so we would like to thank all of you out there who've actually tuned in and spent your holiday with us, especially those in the US who are actually off today. And again, we're going to work on more videos based on your input as well. So again, we'd like to thank you for coming out. Stay tuned. This is our last number for today, and we're going to get people off on their dancing feet with this one, I hope, right? So thank you all, and ciao, ciao, ciao. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. So what were we doing over there? Again, we were trying to talk about, mixing and blending. You have the high life guitar from West Africa. You have the drums from West Africa as well. You blend that in with a nice and powerful bass line, and you have a powerful song and powerful tune indeed. So we'd like to thank you all again for having come out today. Thank you very much. Leave your comments on the video. Give us a call. Give us a ring. If you are interested in purchasing a KETRON instrument, and especially if you live in the United States, do give us a call. We'll talk to you. We'll contact you. Reach out to your dealer. If you don't have one, we can talk to you and we can work out with you or work out a deal on how to get one to you. If you are in Europe or in Latin America or you're in Canada and you lack where to get these instruments, also give us a ring and we shall be happy to help you. It's not just about selling or giving you a keyboard, it's also about the support service. And if you look online, you can see that our support is top rated, and we have a forum out there on the Facebook. We also have a Synth Zone forum where we also discuss and we're able to help our customers such as yourself and our potential customers as well. Service and help when it comes to these instruments is our priority. And I'm speaking as an engineer for KETRON as well. I'm also speaking as a musician. And so I'm able to cross and wear both hats where and when needed. Again, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. We shall talk to you all very, very soon. Adios. Ciao.